Hello everybody, I'm going to give you some feedback, overall general feedback on the first discussion boards we did for week 2, the initial. This is Jonathan Lopez's. If you haven't had a chance to read it, you should. It was really good. So if you want to pause, but I really want you to take a look at the topic sentence he has. He says, however, when given into comparison, the reactions of both women, Mama and Kofor, had different levels of restraint. First of all, the prompt was to compare and contrast and what levels of restraint you thought the women had. So he's going to talk about the differences that the two women showed. Very clear. Up here he brings in Mama and Kofor. I do wish that he would have brought... Sorry about that. I do wish he would have brought about Mama from I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings and Kofor from her article blah 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 blah. I wish he would have brought that in. That way the reader knows exactly what he's going to be referring to. Here, notice his Kofor 234. He really didn't need to use Kofor here because he used it here, her name here. So he's kind of being redundant. I should have striked that out. But I did want to point out that he put the quote, the in-text citation, and then the period goes after this. Here he did this really well. Well, the quote should be over 1, but that's okay. Here, Angelou 30, I know that it's on page 30. Remember, if it's a page number, you don't need P period or anything. However, if it were a paragraph, you would use PAR period. If it were an online internet or a database article that you don't have in front of you or has no pages, no page numbers. Okay, so down here, I believe that's not necessary. A lot of people are saying, I believe, I think, in my opinion. Strike that. It's not necessary. It's filler. Who's writing this? You are. Everything you write here is your opinion. It's what you believe. So you don't need to state that. Overall, here I want to look at its closing sentence. Both women did a great job in attaining serenity and confidence in themselves, making them real champions over the odds they both faced. Great closing sentence because he brought back Mama and Kofor. He brought them together. He's kind of restating the topic sentence a little bit here, but in different words. This was really, really well done, and he wrote it at a really high level. I could tell he put some time into this. Down here, the works cited. Good. Here, there's some issues with this. Print, you don't need the word print anymore. So everybody, please use my cheat sheet that I have under the module, because that will really help you. I refer to it when I'm writing papers. This here needs some help here too, but he can follow that. Okay, let's go on to the next one. This initial post was from Julissa Lopez, as you can see. Her first sentence was great. I think it's her topic sentence. And then she goes in a little more here saying, looking at the times in which both of these women lived, Mama had more to lose. She answered the prompt really well, because sometimes the prompts will have 1 or 2 things you must answer. She answered both right away. I know what her point of view is, and then she's going to go into the support. Again, however, I do wish she would have put Mama in I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, and then Kofor in the article, the name of her article. That way the reader knows where this information's coming from. Here, again, I believe I struck out. She doesn't need it. Angelou 19, period, beautiful. Kofor, I struck it out here because she mentioned it here in the beginning. Remember, ICE, you want to introduce. But if you introduce the author's name here, you don't need to put it in the in-text citation. Here, she has a period here, but it doesn't belong. So, if you take this is just showing the comment I made. Sorry about that. So this period doesn't belong here. She only goes at the end here. Again, her closing was really, really good. Both showed restraint, but Kofor could have spoken up despite her fear of not being taken seriously. You notice that this was about the two women. She brought that both in. She tied it. She connected the whole thing together. To me, a closing sentence is like the bow or the ribbon on a gift. So you want to package it up nicely. Here, her works cited looks pretty good. Good. Yes, she doesn't need Boston here, though. We don't need to put the city anymore. PP period. This way we know the pages that this came from, the patterns book, on the pages 230 to 237. And notice that she started with Kofor because we're looking for her article. And where was her article found? within our patterns book. Well, who wrote the patterns book? We have the editors. She's using the 13th edition. Everything looks really good here. So use hers as a good model for the work cited for her MLA format. And please take your time with it, because I will take points off for it. Last semester I had a person who had minus 18 points taken off for MLA. It was the research paper. You really need to cite and do that carefully. Okay, the last one I want to show you is by Rebecca. Okay, this prompt is from Rebecca. Hers was really good. Notice the first sentence. The essay, Why Chinese Mothers Are Superior, gives the author, and the poem, Suicide Note, gives the author. Now your reader knows exactly what you're going to be comparing and contrasting. They know where the information is coming from. Your readers do. Here, her writing was really good. Her topic sentence was clear and to the point. Down here, her quote, she introduces her essay by saying, quote, the period doesn't belong here. It only goes after the in-text citation. She used the poem here. And then I want to see, here's her closing sentence, which was good. I'm going through hers a little more quickly, but as you can see, it's not long, but it's really good. The support is good. It has a good topic sentence. Let's look at her works cited. Good, good. Where's it? The author, the title, where's it coming from? The patterns book. Who are the editors here? Boston. She doesn't need Boston. She needs to get rid of that. And she doesn't need print. She should have PP period pages, PP period, and then list the page numbers of this article, and then the same mistake she made here. So she had a couple little errors here. That's the reason she didn't get 100 on this. It was really well written. I think she got a 95. So I'd like to thank Rebecca, Ulisa, and Jonathan for allowing me to share this with you. There were some other good ones, but I wanted to just give you some overall feedback. Now take this feedback and carry it over into your essays as well. Consider these mini essays. All right, everybody, take care.